Shalom, shalom. All praises, all power, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, Yahweh being the name of the Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, Yahweh, meaning He exists, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His name is Yahushai, meaning He delivers, He is salvation. Bahashem, in the name, Rakah Kodash, Spirit Holy. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who teach one rule well, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akyam, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth at risk of their own lives throughout the four corners of the earth. To the Akwatim, listen and learn in sincerity and the truth and in silence, Shalom. Akyam meaning brothers, Akwatim meaning sisters, Shalom meaning peace be unto you. It's your brother Shema from the GMS Toronto camp here in Toronto, here with another lesson. So, right? This news article here from AP News. Tuesday, December 19th, 2023. The hopeful year that all these prophecies come to pass. It says here, DJ Trump banned from Colorado ballot in historic ruling by state's Supreme Court. Right? These Edomites are against each other, man. Right? And that's all according to prophecy. Right? Mark chapter 3, verse 23, and it reads, "And he called them unto him," Yahushai called his disciples, "and said unto them in parables, How can Satan cast out Satan? Salakia, Yahushua is speaking to the multitude along with the scribes. Right? Matthew 3 verse 20, "And the multitude cometh together again so that they could not so much as eat bread. And when his friends heard of it, they went out to lay hold on him, for they said, He is beside himself." Yes, the scribes. "And the scribes which came down from Jerusalem said, He hath Beelzebub, prince of the devils, casteth he out devils. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables." So Yahushua's response to the scribes was, "How can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand." Right? So we're seeing the division within America, the red versus blue. Right? And ultimately, the owners of the corporation of America, the Great Babylon the Great, they're one entity, they're on the same side, but there's a thing called controlled opposition. So the puppet the puppet masters who are pulling the strings, right? They pull the strings on the red and they pull the strings on the blue. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand, right? So when there's division, that kingdom can't stand, man. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end, right? And who is the physical counterpart of this of the spiritual demon Satan? The Edomites. Right? And we're seeing the division. Let's read some of this. Denver AP. A divided Colorado Supreme Court on Tuesday declared former President DJ Trump ineligible for the White House under the U.S. Constitution's insurrection clause and removed him from the state's presidential primary ballot, setting up a likely showdown in the nation's highest court to decide whether the front-runner for the GOP nomination can remain in the race. The decision from a court whose justices were all appointed by Democratic governors marks the first time in history that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment has been used to disqualify a presidential candidate. Right? First time in history that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, let's see. Right? right? Esau's legislation, Esau's laws. Liberal groups seek to use the Constitution's insurrection clause to block Trump from 2024 ballots. As former President Donald Trump dominates the Republican presidential primary, some liberal groups and legal experts contend that a rarely used clause of the Constitution prevents him from being president after the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Right, so it's a rarely used clause, right? And this is just going to cause more and more division, right? The good old boys ain't having it, right? Egyptian against Egyptian. It goes on to read, a majority of the court holds that Trump is disqualified from holding the office of president under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, the court wrote in its 4-3 decision. Colorado's highest court overturned a ruling from a district court judge who found that Trump incited an insurrection for his role in the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol, but said he could not be barred from the ballot because it was unclear that the provision was intended to cover the presidency. The court stayed its decision until January 4th, or until the U.S. Supreme Court rules on the case. Colorado officials say the issue must be settled by January 5th, the deadline for the state to print its presidential primary ballots. Right, so they're looking to ban him from the state of Colorado ballot. Right, so if you have more states banning DJ Trump from the ballot, there's no competition. He can't be he can't receive votes in those states. We do not reach these conclusions lightly, wrote the court's majority. We are mindful of the magnitude and weight of the question now before us. We are likewise mindful of our solemn duty to apply the law without fear or favor and without being swayed by public reaction to the decisions that the law mandates we reach. Trump's attorneys have promised to appeal any disqualification immediately to the nation's highest court, which has the final say about constitutional matters. The Colorado Supreme Court issued a completely flawed decision tonight, and we will swiftly file an appeal to the United States Supreme Court and a concurrent request for a stay of this deeply undemocratic decision, Trump campaign spokesman Stephen Chung said in a statement Tuesday night, right? And the division is going to we're going to see it steadily get more and more violent, right? Matthew 10 verse 35, and it reads, and this is red letter, our Lord said this, Matthew 10 verse 34, think not, this is the Lord speaking, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Right, this is Yahweh Shai speaking, man. Right? And ultimately, what's that sword? Ultimately leading to the thermonuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles. But leading up into that, division, civil unrest. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father. Right, let's look at this word variance. Strong's G 1369.
Strong's G 1369. Dechadzo. Dechadzo.
To cut into two parts, cleave asunder, sever in the Strong's, from a derivative of G1364, to make apart, i.e. sunder, figuratively alienate, set at variance, right? And we're seeing the red versus the blue, the left versus the right, right? And they're all on puppet strings, but the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai is putting the spirit of division within their household, Esau's household. For I'm come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household, right? And that's twofold. Because there's going to be men in this truth who their own family members are going to turn against them, right? Right, and then amongst these heathens and these other nations, 2/3 of the people, these heathens, these other nations, and the political world, party against party, right? Let's close. Second Ezra 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, right? Sedition, rebellion among men. Blue versus red, right versus left, liberal versus progressive conservative, Democrat versus Republican, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Right, not regard their kings nor their princes. They're not going to listen to the rule of law, the mayor, the martial law, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. They're going to do what they want. Listen, if these good old boys decide to really flame and go all out, we see the trailer of the movie that movie coming out next year, Civil War 2024, right? What we see taking place within their political house is a prelude, right? Right, Civil War. Civil War is an upcoming epic action war film written and directed by Alex Garland. Scheduled to be released April 26, 2024. Premise: the United States stands on the brink of civil war in a near future setting. Right? Premise, Salaki, I said premise. Premise: the United States stands on the brink of civil war in a near future setting. Right? But yeah, that's it on that, man. You know, I pray you're edified. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Muslim to teach and rule well. Shalom to the whole